Good morning, it's 184, day 184. I'm up at the crack of dawn because I didn't have any water for breakfast. The water's right on the trail, but I wanted to have some to make breakfast with before I packed up, so and I want to try to get on the trail fairly early today as well. So technically the sun's not up, it's just the light compensation on the phone camera that's making it look like it's mid-afternoon, but it has not cracked the horizon yet. It should come up right behind me. It's 38 degrees. And already one hiker has left past me to get on trail while I was getting water. That's the trail back up to the campsite. All right, I'm on trail. I'm leaving the Garfield campsite and headed up to Garfield Ridge in half a mile. I didn't even say. Anyway, the summit is half a mile and 500 feet. So it's pretty darn steep. But and then after that, Franconia Ridge. So onward. So that's the climb right off the bat this morning. I can imagine descending this in the rain or wet right after the rain, which is what a lot of the hikers at the shelter last night were saying. I just came out of the trees at Garfield and hiking up to the summit. That's what I'm looking at. I can't find a way up. That's not just too high of a step. For me, I guess I can put my pack down. Hold please. Yeah, I don't know how bad I want to get on top of this thing, because that also means I have to get back down. And that's literally like 4 foot high boulder wall around everything. So I'm gonna call this summited and let you check out some of the views. We'll call that Franconia Ridge behind me. Alright, time to get off this prominence and back on trail. So the next little section is going to be about a 800-foot descent steep, followed by another 300 or so moderate descent, a little bit of flat, and then 1,500 climb up Lafayette. And that marks the start of the Franconia Ridge. This will be something. I am very grateful for the sunny weather and the breeze to dry off these wet rocks from yesterday's rain. For the most part, they are already dry, except down in the cracks and crevices and puddles and what have you. That's what I'm looking at. That's at a moderate downward angle right now. Still very near the top. Going up. Well, I am about to pop out of the tree line. I still have about 700 feet to go to the summit of this one. Garfield So I will say, or admit, if you want to call it that, that being above tree line or on a bald or summit like this with these kind of views on a clear day often brings me to tears. So I've already had one episode on the ridge on the way up here, but I'm sure I'll have plenty more today throughout the Whites, because I'm hoping I can get clear days on most of the summits, or in most all of the summits if I'm making wishes. Look at this view down to the hut. So there's the summit of Lafayette, Mount Lafayette Ridge Trail down to that little lake and that little hut. And that's like a 1,000-foot drop, I think. Sitting in one of these little windbreaks on the summit of Lafayette, having a snack. This is a, I don't know, some kind of sedimentary, re-unmelted chocolate nuts and craisins. Which one? I've been back in the tree line, back in the trees for a little while now, maybe a mile and a half, but now I'm turning down the Liberty Springs Trail. There's a campsite in like point 3, but I am gunning for the end of this trail by 4, because then it's another mile from there to the Flume Gorge Visitor Center parking lot, which is where the shuttle pickup is. So if I can make it to Cascade Brook by 4, I'm good. This thing on. Yeah, so here I am, my traditional last mile. Well, actually, this is not the last mile. It's the last mile before the last mile. There's a mile of off-trail walking coming up to get to the visitor center. But yeah, on this little hike down from Franconia Ridge to I-93, I bumped into a bunch of people Well, up on the ridge, I bumped into Ziggy, who I haven't seen since Woods Hole in Virginia. And then I bumped into Big Tuna, who last I saw him was in the middle of Pennsylvania. And then a bunch of new people I haven't met yet that are northbounders that were glad to discover I was a northbounder. So it's been cool going against the stream and getting to meet all the oncoming traffic. Like if I were hiking in the same direction as them, there's a really good chance I never would have bumped into them unless we ended up at the same shelter or campsite. But the way people are staggered and spaced out, I could very well be a half a day separated from them and never know it. And I think by and large that's how a lot of my hike has been, and that's kind of the through hiker experience. You never know who's exactly close by unless they're at your specific campsite. Looks like we've arrived at, let me see, Cascade Brook Lighthouse Trail AT this way. We've arrived at the bike path, which means I'm 0.9 miles from the parking lot. The drone footage.